Hello and welcome to another edition of News Showcase. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. The Madras High Court has sentenced Tamil Nadu Minister Ponmudi and his wife to 3 years in jail in a corruption case. The court also gave them 30 days' time to appeal against the sentence. The judge pointed to overwhelming evidence against them before cancelling their acquittal by a trial court. Ponmudi is accused of acquiring assets worth 1.75 crore rupees when he was a minister in the previous government run by the DMK. The case against him was filed by the rival political party, the AIADMK. The Ministry of Higher Education, which he held, will be handed to another minister. Ponmudi is the second minister in the current DMK government to be handed a prison term. The Tamil Nadu government has indicated that Minister Raja Kannappan will take on the duties of Ponmudi. Reports said, in line with the protocol, his name was suggested to the state governor. Separately, reports said Ponmudi home district of Viluppuram experienced power outages as the court delivered its verdict in his case. They said parts of the district did not have power supply for more than 30 minutes. Reports also said the local office of his DMK party was found to be deserted, and just a handful of people were at the scene, which is usually a very busy place. His house was also found locked, with only a single security guard in front of it. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin took a tour of the southern districts ravaged by severe flooding this week. He started from Tuticorin, which was the worst hit by unprecedented showers in at least 100 years. The flooding killed at least 32 people and caused damages to properties across vast areas. Reports said 5,000 acres of salt farms worth thousands of crores of rupees submerged in Tuticorin. The rain left a trail of devastation in 3 other districts. Earlier this week, the Chief Minister held talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Delhi and wanted the flooding to be declared a national disaster. He also sought an emergency aid of rupees 2,000 crore rupees. 2 teams dispatched by the federal government visited Tirunelveli to study the damage caused by the floods. A consultant with the National Disaster Management Authority led the teams as they surveyed various locations. The city is the largest and a major business center in the far south of Tamil Nadu. It is also a transport hub connecting the south and the north of the state. During the showers, the main river in the district, the Tamir Prani, broke its banks and flooded communities living near it. The river flows through many populated areas in the region. Medical experts have warned that hospitalizations in India will surge from infections caused by the JN1 variant of COVID-19 virus. Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, former chief scientist with the World Health Organization, warned against dismissing the strain as common cold as it could have long-term side effects. She said the after effects could be a heart attack, stroke or mental problems. Dr. Rajiv J. Devan with India's COVID task force pointed out that 30% of patients in Kochi and Kerala turned out to be COVID positive in a single day. JN1 has been found in many countries around the world, including India, China, UK and the United States. The World Health Organization has also warned of a significant rise in cases. India has banned an anti-cold drug combination for children aged below 4 and ordered the relabeling of the medication. The move comes in the wake of deaths of more than 141 children in many countries in 2019 linked to Indian-made cough syrups. The deaths were reported in Gambia, Uzbekistan and Cameroon. Reports said within India at least 12 children died and 4 others were left with severe disabilities after using the cough syrups. The Indian ban follows concerns and discussions led by the drugs regulator. The manufacturers of the cough syrups have denied any wrongdoing. India has a reputation as the world's pharmacy due to its supply of life-saving drugs at low prices. Opposition lawmakers staged a protest against the mass suspension of MPs from Parliament. They marched for about a kilometre from the old Parliament building with large banners. One of them said, "Save democracy," while another asked, "Is this the end of democracy?" The march was led by the Congress party's leader, Mallikarjun Kharge, who said the governing BJP has lost faith in democracy. He said members of the new opposition bloc, India, will hold a second march in Delhi on Friday. Over 140 opposition lawmakers were suspended after they demanded a statement from the government on how protesters sneaked into the lower house while it was in session. An engineer from Karnataka has been detained by police in the Parliament security breach investigation. Reports said Sai Krishna Jagali was picked up from his home and taken to Delhi. Reports also said he is the son of a retired police officer and a friend of one of the protesters who entered the Parliament's lower chamber and released gas from a canister. Both men were batchmates when they studied engineering in Bengaluru. Jagali's sister confirmed that he was taken for questioning and that one of the protesters was his roommate. She said her brother did nothing wrong and he was working from home at the time of his detention. Reports say the government has decided to deploy the paramilitary Central Industrial Security Force to protect the parliament. The move, which will replace the Delhi police, comes in the wake of last week's serious security incidents at the complex. A report said internal security will continue to be the responsibility of the Lok Sabha Secretariat. The stunning protests inside the lower house is the second major security breach after gunmen stormed the old parliament building more than 20 years ago. The CISF, which comes under the Federal Home Ministry, is charged with the security of sensitive installations across the country. The force guards over 350 facilities, including airports, nuclear sites, and industrial complexes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said there is no discrimination against religious minorities in India. In comments to a British newspaper, the Prime Minister said, "Muslims in India are happy and prospering." He said Muslims have found India to be a safe haven while they faced persecution in several other countries. According to government estimates, there are roughly 20 crore Muslims living in India, which is 14.28% of the entire population. Prime Minister Modi also dismissed allegations of a crackdown on critics of his government. He said there was enough freedom to criticize and the freedom to respond to it. He also said those who underestimate India will be proven wrong, as in the past. The Wrestling Federation of India has elected Sanjay Singh as its new president. The leadership change at the national wrestling body comes after 12 years, as the previous president Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh was hit by a string of sexual abuse charges. Singh, who is reportedly close to his disgraced predecessor, took 40 of the 47 votes to beat Commonwealth Games gold medalist Anita Shiran, who was backed by wrestlers affected by alleged sexual harassment. Earlier this year, female wrestlers staged emotional protests and accused Sharan Singh of sexual misconduct, who is a lawmaker from the BJP. Elections were held for several other senior positions, including vice presidents, secretary general, and treasurer. The president of France, Emmanuel Macron, issued a stern warning to Israel and said it should stop its attacks in Gaza immediately. He said the response was not appropriate and all lives are the same. Macron told France 5 broadcaster that an efficient fight against terrorism does not mean flattening Gaza or attacking civilian populations indiscriminately. The French warning comes as global support for Israel fell sharply in recent weeks and calls for an immediate humanitarian truce started growing. Hamas, which Israel says it is trying to eliminate, said 20,000 civilians have died so far, including more than 1,000 children. Most buildings in Gaza were destroyed by bombing, and hospitals could not operate as they did not have power supply. The US says serious negotiations are taking place on a new Gaza truce and the release of more Israeli hostages. But prospects remain uncertain after Hamas's leader reportedly rejected the idea of a temporary pause during talks in Cairo on Wednesday. Israeli forces say they've uncovered a network of tunnels in Gaza City, with entrances connected to the houses of Hamas leaders. The UN Security Council again postponed a meeting to discuss calls for urgent humanitarian pauses in Gaza. A draft resolution by the United Arab Emirates also called for the return of hostages and a two-state solution for Israel and the Palestinians. The social media site X, which was previously called Twitter, was down in many parts of the world. Users said they were unable to view and share posts and encountered a blank page which said, "Welcome to X." Its premium version X Pro was also down, and news agencies said that more than 47,000 users in the United States experienced access issues with both. The hashtag, #TwitterDown, also began trending as users shared their experiences during the outage. Reports said nearly a week ago, all outgoing links from the platform stopped functioning briefly, and the issue was resolved after about an hour or so. Service interruptions have hit the platform multiple times this year. Thank you for watching. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Do tune in, same time tomorrow, for a roundup of the latest news and updates in India and around the world.